Okay, so let me show you some simple practical effects that you can do right in your camera. The first is the use of a fog machine. You can buy these at pretty much any party store, and trust me, you don't need to get a big industrial size fog machine either. Something small will usually do the trick. Using a fog machine, you can quickly add some atmosphere to your otherwise boring shots. Here is a shot from a little project I did a while back where the location just didn't look interesting. So I decided to turn down the lights and add some fog so I can see more of the flashlight and then the laser on the gun. And here is another music video where all you see is this guy playing a piano, and all we have is just this one light behind him. And right away you can see that by adding some fog, I was able to add this neat effect of those rays of light as he moves around. Second tip is the use of slow motion. Now I know that slow motion sometimes is overused in music videos, but I would recommend that you shoot, especially all the non-performance stuff, in slow motion, so that later on in editing you have an option of either playing it back in slow motion or regular speed, but just simply by adjusting the frame rate that you're playing the footage back. Now, in case you don't know how to do slow motion in your camera, it's actually pretty simple. You'll be editing your project in 24 frames per second, but most cameras these days can shoot 24 frames per second and also usually 30 frames, 50 frames per second, and 60 frames per second. So really all you're gonna do is you're gonna film it at the highest frame rate that your camera can do. So if, for example, if you're shooting on a Canon, SLR camera, then it's going to be 60 frames per second. And then later on in your editing program, all you're going to do is when you import your footage, you'll change the playback frame rate to 24 frames per second. And it happens instantaneously. So, there's no conversion needed. And you'll be able to see your footage playback at 2.5 times its original speed. I'll show you all the details of how to do that later on in the editing section. But also, if you want to be able to play back your slow motion footage right in your Canon digital SLR camera, then and here's how you can do it.
So when you press the play button, you will have a bunch of options actually that will appear. The first one is just a regular play, but the button next to it is actually for playing back the footage in slow motion or sped up actually. It allows you basically to change the speed of your playback. So you just select that, and then with the bar there on the top right corner, you'll be able to adjust the speed. So when you're all the way to the right, you're basically going to play it back really fast, and the more you go to the left, the slower you're going to be playing it back. So here you can see me slow it down and then speed up and then slow down again. And it's pretty cool because that allows you to right away see if your slow motion shot came out the way that you wanted it to look.
Another cool trick to do is to shoot even your performances in slow motion. Now, that trick is going to be hard to do if your song is really fast, but you can still try it. So what you have to do is to first figure out how fast you're going to record the footage, the slow motion footage at. So, for example, if you're going to shoot it at 60 frames per second, and then later on play it back at 24 frames per second, then you simply take 60 divided by 24, and you come up with 2.5 or 2.5 times faster. So then that means that you want to prepare your song and basically speed it up 2.5 times or 250%. And then when you're recording at 60 frames per second your performance, you want to have the artist perform the song, to that sped up version, of the actual music. Now, if you're gonna do it, let's see, in 50 frames per second, then again you divide it by 24, which comes out to around, 2 times faster. Again, you speed up the song two times, and you have the artist perform the song, basically 2 times faster. Then later on in editing, you just simply import that stuff in, and then you play it back at 24 frames per second. And your performance, even though it's in slow motion, the lips will still match the actual song, when it's played back at regular speed.
Okay, so here's a quick example. I got this song from Dwayne Starr. He's this hip-hop artist that I know, and he allowed me to use the song. Here's how the song sounds.
Yeah. Yo, y'all know what it is. I'm from the north side.
Now, as you can see, it's a hip-hop song. So if we take this song, for example, here, let me just copy it over. and I speed it up. So let's say, you know, if we're gonna do this video in 24 frames per second, and let's say your camera shoots 60p, then you can go basically, you know, if you can record at 60p, playback at 24, like I said before, it's gonna be 2.5 times faster. So we type in 250% here, and you can see whether basically it's possible for the artist to perform the song 2.5 times faster, which might not always be the case. So let's listen to the song now. So, as you can see, you know, aside from it sounding funny, it's just so ridiculously fast. There's no way that that Daniel could be basically performing this song that fast. So, again, if you have like a slower country song, maybe some, you know, like a soft rock song that that is not that fast, and you know the artist can perform it at 2.5 times faster, then you can do it that slowly. But because this was a hip hop song, I basically am forced to do it at 200% or 2 times faster than the original song. So here I prepared it. I just basically sped it up. Here it says 200%, as you can see, and this is how the song sounds when it's two times faster. So as you can see, it is still pretty damn fast, but it should be it should be okay when getting at least some of the parts of the song, like getting them nicely synced. So anyways, this is how the performance looks.
Okay, go.
So as you can see, I mean, he really had to perform it fast. So there's some of the lines don't really quite line up, some of them do. So it's pretty good. Now the key thing is that we want to actually use it in the version where the song is played back at a normal speed.
Yeah.
So this. So what we'll do is we'll basically take that clip, we'll duplicate it. Okay, and we'll right-click on it, go Modify, Interpret Footage. And here you can see this was the original frame rate that comes with the file. It's basically 60 frames per second or 59.9. We're going to play it back 2 times slower, which is 30 frames per second. Or we're going to be really accurate, it's 29.976. Just click OK. And anyways, now we can take this clip here. If we play it back, we'll see that some parts of it, like I said, he managed to match up pretty well. Some of it maybe wasn't matched up that well. But anyways, let's watch it.
Yeah. Yo, y'all know what it is. I'm from the north side.
So there was like a good section. I think later on he does it pretty well too.
Club pop bug till I stagger. You see a fly chick, the Wayne Star gone bagger with that
Northside swag, with me Northside swag.
like a dagger with that
Northside swag, with me Northside swag.
And that's kind of how it looks. So as you can see, he's actually performing the song even though he's been filmed in slow motion. So let's say if it was like an interesting shot, let's say him walking somewhere down the street or something and performing the song, and if the song wasn't that fast, like I said, hip hop maybe is not the best example, but that's the only song I could get the rights to, just so I can use it in this video. But as you can see, the effect is pretty simple, and it's pretty neat, when you execute it. Okay, so let me show you how, for example, this whole little test that I did looks once it's all edited with the different takes that I did.
Yeah. Yo, y'all know what it is. I'm from the north side.
Northside,
I got my swagger from the north side.
Northside,
416, son, north side.
Northside.
You can catch me in that north side. When I step up in the club, pop bug till I stagger. You see a fly chick, the Wayne Star gone bagger with that
Northside swag, with me Northside swag. Northside swag, with me Northside
We
swag.
make it rain at the bar, I'm drinking Red Bull and Jagger. I stay fresh to death, stay sharp like a dagger with that
Northside swag, with me Northside swag. Northside swag, with me Northside.
north.
So as you can see, it's it works pretty well. It's a quick little test. We only did 2 takes, so not everything's perfectly in sync, but it's a neat effect of having a performance in slow motion yet syncing up to the original song.